To order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the Hillsborough County Code Enforcement Special Magistrate hearing. When addressing the magistrate, please state your name, address, and speak clearly into the microphone. If you are planning to speak during this hearing, you must sign the speakers list located at the front door so your case can be called. Any person who decides to appeal the decision of the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate will need a record of the proceedings. The record is comprised of the testimony and the evidence upon which an appeal is based. It is your responsibility to ensure that a verbatim record of the proceedings is made. By law, you have 30 days from the date of the order to appeal the magistrate's decisions to the circuit court. Presentations by the county, respondents, and opposition must be kept to a maximum of 10 minutes each. I may recess at 12:30 and reconvene at 1:30 to conclude its business if necessary. The basic process for this hearing is as follows. CBS staff will conduct the oath of witness. Your staff will be announced. Your case will be announced. Staff will present their evidence on your case. You will be allowed to rebut the evidence and explain what has occurred. I will close the hearing and announce a decision. All decisions are based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator, and the violator's history. I may ask questions and allow other witness testimony if necessary. Depending on my order, the code enforcement staff may later have to conduct an inspection to see if you've complied. If staff believes you have not complied, you will receive a notice in the mail. By law, you have 10 days to contest that notice. Otherwise, it will be considered correct and a lien may be filed against your property. If you have any questions, these rules are outlined in Hillsborough County Code and Ordinance Law and Laws, Chapter 14, Article 2, Section 14. Thank you. Now, I approve the minutes of the previous meeting of March 13th, 2020. And if staff can go ahead and conduct the oath of the defendants and witnesses.
All county staff, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay, let's have our first case, please.
First case is on page 2, item 3, case number CE 2000-7962. Arlene Molina and Carlos E. Molina, and we have service. Please step up. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Arlene Molina. My address is 8531 Carriage Point Drive, Kissington, Florida 33534.
Okay, give me just a moment for the picture to... I guess there's problems with the PowerPoint showing on the screen.
What's the case number on that, Sonia, please?
Roger, go again.
Yes, Sonia, what's the case number on that again?
The case number is CE 2000-7962. Page
Thank
2
you.
of your agenda, item 3.
Thank you. Okay. Are we ready to proceed?
We're just waiting for the PowerPoint to show up so she can verify that that is the property.
Okay, very good.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Jason Zalva, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. On June 1st, 2020, I arrived at 8531 Carriage Point Drive, report of a tarp on the roof. I met with the homeowner, Arlene Molina. Arlene stated the insurance and roof inspector were there last week, and they were now waiting for the insurance for repairs. I explained I would give her time, as it takes a while to get the insurance working, so I extended the case I gave her a 25-day notice violation. On July 8th, I arrived at the same address for reinspection, observed the tarp was still there, and she stated that she was still battling with the insurance company. And I explained to her that she could repair it herself with patches and then go through the insurance company if she'd like, but because there was still a tarp on it, I was going to be referring to hearing, which I did. On September 3rd, Arlene was not there, but I met with her adult daughter and served her with the combo notice of violation for this hearing date. And I did speak with Arlene on the phone, so she understood the violation.
Okay. Arlene, or what do you have to say?
Well, right now, we have a roofing company since the beginning. I have the paper here. We signed it on May 8th. And I'm having a difficult time with the insurance company. Right now, we just hired a public adjusting court. So it was signed on the 8/25. So that's the situation that I'm dealing with the insurance right now. They're giving me a hard time. So I'm proceeding with the next step that I has to do to get this taken care.
Okay, so you're saying that you signed a contract with the roofing company to go ahead and take care of the repairs?
Yes,
what I understood?
and they working with the insurance company. So the roof company that I have has on a paper, and they be in contact with the insurance company to get this taken care. So the insurance company is giving me a hard time now. So we hire a public adjuster. They just came and inspect the house on 8/25.
Okay, and what do you anticipate the date that they're going to start to work?
I don't have no date yet because the insurance company is not approving it yet.
Okay. How much time do you think it's going to take in order to get this in compliance?
Well, hopefully not much time. The last time that I see the inspector, he said that after that, if they deny, we're gonna proceed with a lawyer.
You're saying that the insurance company denied it?
Myself too.
I'm sorry?
I'm a new owner, so I'm trying to figure it out all the process. So for now, this is the next step that I has to do.
So you're saying that the insurance company has denied the claim? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
And now you're going to get an attorney?
Well, right now we have a public adjusting. They just came and inspect the house, so now we're waiting. Sir.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm a little bit confused. You said that the insurance company denied the claim, but you signed a contract with the roofing company, and they're now working with the insurance company. I thought I would assume the insurance company's out of the picture, isn't it?
No, it's still on the picture.
So, all right. How much time do you need in order to get this in compliance?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. It's been going on for 3 months. You say the insurance companies denied the claim, and now they're working with their roofing contractor. So I'm a little bit missed what's going on.
Could you repeat that?
Okay. You indicated that the insurance company has denied the claim. Now you've got signed an agreement with the contractor, and they're working with the insurance company who denied the claim, and you're saying that they're going to repair it. I'm confused, and I don't understand where we're going.
So I'm trying to get the roof fixed as soon as possible. So if they deny it now, after this inspection, then I think I have to I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have to talk to my husband and probably fix it. I don't know. The roof company say to hold on until we get an answer from this inspector that just came on 25th of August. From
Okay.
there, then probably we need to fix it or get it done.
Well, I think maybe we need to focus on getting it fixed. It's a roofing repair. I'm sure it's not going to cost a lot of money, but in any event, I'm going to go ahead and rule in this case. I rule in the case of CE 2000-7962. Based on the evidence presented, I find the property in violation of Hillsborough County Code and Ordinance as listed in staff presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator, violator's history, I grant 60 days to come in compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that time, a fine of $200 per day will be assessed. Okay.
Thank you.
Next case.
Next case is on page 3, item 7, case number CE 19017433, Manuel S. Reynoso and Graciela F. Reynoso, and we have service. Right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Manny Reynoso. My address is 5103 West Trabnell, Dover, Florida.
Just a moment for the photo to come up.
This is not the same address as the offenses committed. So is he managing the property, or?
You recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, ma'am.
As the owner of record.
Okay.
Dennis
Okay.
Green, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. We received a complaint on this property on November 7th, 2019. We received a complaint due to, if you notice in other photos, there's multiple mobile homes placed on this property that are not set up, not tied down. Not sure what the situation was at the time. So we wrote it up as open storage and excessive dwellings for this location. However, Mr. Reynoso hired a engineer to help him out. My understanding is Mr. Reynoso is trying to create a farm housing setup for this particular property. Unfortunately, he's kind of went around the corner with this situation and put the dwellings on site before getting site plans and approvals from the county.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Reynoso. Response?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Yeah. what do you have to say for yourself?
Sorry, I don't understand.
He's asking you what you got to say about the situation.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, we talked to the engineer 3 days ago, and they tell me they redo. See, because the engineer tell me they waited for the county, and eventually, I mean, I don't think he do the job in time, but I'll tell him, I give you the letter, the inspector letter, and they started working on it. They say in 30 days they done everything. I hope so.
You say in 30 days they've done everything for, I don't understand.
Well, the engineer tell me they want to take care of the size plan and everything because he's behind in something, and he tell me he already started fixing the problem, and see because we qualify for the migrant mobile home park in there, but then the rules change or some, and we got to redo things in a size plan. So he already started working on a new size plan.
So he has been in contact with the county? Or
Yes,
is it
sir.
just all
He
internal?
submitted engineered drawings to the county sometime around May 21st of 2020 of this year. According to the email, the last email that was sent to me from this engineer was he had to resubmit site plans. However, he needed some information from the Transportation Department or Department of Transportation for what looks like to be a traffic flow issue.
Okay.
Last correspondence that I've received from that engineer.
Okay, so you are in communication with the owner and the owner's representative, correct? Did you hear me, Dennis?
May. That's the last correspondence that I've received.
Okay, how much time do you think it's going to take, Dennis?
These things are slow, and of course, with this situation with the COVID-19, it's hard to say what meetings are being canceled and how meetings are moving forward.
Yeah.
I guess we, at this point, give them enough time for the end of the year and see where we're at January 1st.
Okay, what I want to do on this, Mr. Reynoso, I'm going to go ahead and continue the case for 90 days, in which time you will come back and give us an update as to the progress.
Okay.
I'm a little bit concerned because of the hurricane season, we're now in the prime of it. So hopefully you'll get things working a lot faster, okay?
So,
And push
thank you
for
so
it.
much.
So 90-day continuance.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
After this 90-day, do you want it to come to a hearing? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, yes.
Hearing is to be announced. You'll receive notification once we have something scheduled after that time, during that time frame, okay?
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Right now, we're looking at December 10th, are we not?
We don't have hearings out yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Whatever it may be.
Notified with a hearing date.
Okay, Mr. Ramos, so 90 days. They'll let you know when.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Is there an audio problem that they can't hear me or?
We can hear you.
Okay. Oh,
This
we
is
got
on
another
page
case,
4,
or what?
item 8, case number CE 2009 2000919. Manuel Reynoso Sandolva, and we have service. State your name and address for the record.
I'm sorry, sir.
Just state your name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry. 5103 West Travenel, Dover, Florida.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Dennis Sweeney, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. We received a complaint on this property on January 21st, 2020. The property, when I made a site visit, I found accumulations, inoperable vehicles, and outside open storage. However, Mr. Reynoso has done some cleanup, but he failed to complete the task to this point. And the accumulations and outside open storage continue to exist. The inoperable vehicles were complied.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Hermoso, what do you have to say?
Sir, I buy the property 8 months ago, and he was a big mess in there, and I'm still cleaning. I think I hope I get it another 30 days to. Pretty much I'm done, except to the yellow tarp, because we working at the same time and get a permit for building my single family home in there. It's already existing a mobile home, but I'm getting the permit to build in a house. So I got a new lumber and a yellow tarp. So everything is removed except to the lumber and a tractor. And I'll be done in 30 more days, I hope. Give me another 30 days, I'm done.
Mr. Sweeney, do you agree there with the 30 days?
Yes, sir, I agree with that. Also, I'd advise Mr. Reynoso, once he obtains a building permit, then the lumber for the construction is part of the construction site, and therefore it would not be considered outside open storage. That would be materials that he will be using for the build of the new home.
Right, this would be, although if he, with the 30 days that you're suggesting, that would be to get the outside open storage in compliance, and that would be getting the building or the permit for the single family home, but he will accommodate getting rid of all the accumulations. Is that correct, Mr. Moromoso?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and I'll rule on this case. I'll rule in the case of CE 2000-0919 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property in violation of Hillsborough County Code and Ordinance as listed in staff presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator's history, I grant 45 days to come in compliance. Compliance not achieved by the time a fine of $200 per day will be assessed. Okay?
Sure.
Did you understand that?
Did you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Next case is on page 4, item 9, case number CE 2000-5244, Arthur Earl Staggs, and we have service. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Arthur Earl Staggs, 3127 Mott Road, Dover, Florida.
Sir?
I'm Joseph R. Fritz, attorney at law, 4204 North Nebraska Avenue, 33603.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So do I.
Dennis Sweeney, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case came to us in a complaint on April 13th, 2020. Upon my inspection of the property, I found multiple vehicles that were being worked on, vehicle parts laying around the property. And unfortunately, this has been ongoing for several years with complaints. We get it cleaned up and it would return. However, at this time, the property is cleaned up. Once again, it does meet all the county codes as far as being in compliance. What we're seeking today, because of the history of this property, we are seeking a remain in compliance order for this particular property. We've had 3 different complainants on this last complaint that we received. D and Kirk Smith and a Randall Spiller were the complainants in this case for this property.
Okay, Mr. Sweeney, so you're saying right now, everything as far as the accumulations, the overgrowth, inoperable vehicles, improper use of zone and outside open storage is all in compliance as we speak?
Sir, it is in compliance as of today. And as I said, we're seeking to have a remain in compliance order due to the history.
Okay. Okay, the attorney, or who's speaking? Arthur
I want to
Earl
speak
or the
first, if I
attorney?
may. Reserving some time for Mr. Staggs himself. I am aware of the property. I drove by it. I agree with Mr. Sweeney that it is in compliance. I didn't see any of the parts or the material that were complained of, and it was reasonably cleaned up as far as accumulations and as far as overgrowth. This tenant has caused problems. Not one of these problems have been caused by Mr. Staggs himself. This is an ongoing problem with tenants causing issues with the county, and you take it out on the landowner. In a perfect world, I would suppose that you should be able to give a monetary ticket to a tenant that creates these sorts of issues. I guess the analogy I make is, wouldn't you be pretty upset if the county went after you for damages that your kid did at one of the schools? You didn't have anything to do with it. Mr. Staggs didn't have anything to do with it. These are people that, for some reason or another, are disgruntled or didn't like Staggs and continue to turn in this guy. This is the 3rd violation, as I understand, over a 4-year period, roughly. The first one had to do with the tenant knocking out a window and putting an air conditioner, a roll-around air conditioner with a exhaust tube through a plywood. The plywood had been put in the window in lieu of glass. And it was not a window, but it was closed in. That was the first one. Then there was one other one about accumulations and the parts. Mr. Staggs can't go by there every day and make sure that there's not one car being worked on. But as we sit here today, there's nothing there. There's no tools, there's no parts, there's no equipment. And the accumulations are gone and the vegetation is reasonably under control. That having been said, I think it's kind of harsh and an unreal request for it to remain permanently in compliance. I think it's way premature for that, and it's not warranted under the law. Mr. Staggs?
I'd just like to say that, I'm a business owner, and I have plenty of tenants, and you get disgruntled people when you have to fire them and you have to evict them, and then they want to retaliate by calling code enforcement. And Dennis Sweeney and one other guy at one point come out and on one call of one man cited, I believe it was between 8 and 12 pieces of my property. And both of them acknowledged that it was just a disgruntled employee or just a problem from one man trying to cause trouble. And yet that is one of the violations that is here today. And I wouldn't be scared to say that if any of you have rental properties, that we could go by every place and find something out of compliance if somebody was to call and report you. I wouldn't be scared to say that any of you that have property other than where you live, if you're trusting in somebody else, there's probably violations on your properties, just the same as there was on mine, but with no control of my doing.
Well, I'm going to say something in response to that. If you are the property owner and you have a tenant on that property and then they are not doing as per your contract, or you're letting them to go exceeding their contract insofar as these items and they're not in compliance with the county, you got a problem. And you're picking on the wrong tenants.
Times by Dennis and been told numerous times by me, what are we supposed to do? Had this
Well-
stay order, you can't kick them out. You know, what are we supposed to do as a landowner?
I can't give you that answer. All I can tell you that you got to do a better job managing or putting tenants in the property. But having said that, I appreciate it and thank you very much for getting it in compliance. What I'm going to do, Dennis, do you have previous case history numbers?
I know the attorney said, mentioned this while ago, Okie dokie. I know the attorney just mentioned that there was like 3 cases against this property. In reviewing the address of this property, we actually had approximately 9 different cases against this property in the last 6 years.
Okay.
You know, like I said, there's a history at this point, with the history of complaints and violations. This is why we're here today.
Okay, I understand.
That property is part of a business and it has palm trees and it has stuff on it. We periodically trim those trees and we work that piece of property back there. So at any given day you go by there, you may find accumulation where the trees have been trimmed. That is an agricultural piece of property.
This
Okay,
property
we're
is a rental property, and most of the violations have been created by the tenants, not the issues with trimming of trees.
Could you tell me?
I would have to research it.
Vice versa?
I
Sir,
would
can you
have to
please
look at
speak
it.
into the mic?
Could you tell them or vice versa? How many is from the tenant and how many was just from the business?
Everything, as I can recall in the 6 years I've been with the county, I believe the very first complaint that I received was on the business part of it due to a major burn pile that was on location. Ever since then, the complaints that were received were for the dwelling and the upkeep of the property around the dwelling.
Other complaints do you have on the other pieces of my property that I own? I own up to 22 pieces of property.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We're not going to argue back and forth. There is a history of problems on this particular property, so I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to do a remain in compliance. Okay.
I think that's pretty much unfair. You pretty much make it to where a person, you're like letting a tenant hold a loaded gun. I think that's pretty.
Have a great day.
by y'all.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Sir, thank you.
No objection. Your
Hey,
Honor,
one
please.
thing I'd like to say before I leave today is there's 2 people that are code enforcement violations. And the other code
we're
enforcement guy,
done.
other than Dennis Sweeney.
This is not a stand for you to make a statement. Sir, we're finished.
Huh?
Thank you. We're finished. We're finished.
I would like to say something
We're
before I
finished,
leave.
sir. It's time for you to leave.
Huh?
It's time for you to step back, sir. We're finished. You made,
Like I
you've
said,
had
it's
your
pretty
case.
unfair. It's an unjust situation.
Have a good day, sir.
Is on page 6, item 13, case number CE 200000165. The Audrey B. Major Revocable Trust, and we have service. Have Miller that is appearing virtually.
Hello?
Ma'am, raise your right hand. Or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you. Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes.
You.
Are you the tenant of
Name and
that
address for the
property?
record?
Heidi Taylor, 16402 Livingston Avenue, LUTZ. I am the trustee for my mom's estate. This is my mom's property, Audrey Major.
Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
Rick Garcia, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property at 16402 Livingston Avenue, owned by Audrey B. Major Revocable Trust. It's zoned ASC1. Property is not in foreclosure. I first inspected it on January 7th, 2020. There was a lot of accumulations and inoperable vehicles. My follow-up inspections revealed that the conditions remain. However, a huge amount of progress has been made in cleaning the property up. The maintenance guy that lives on the property, I don't know if he's a scrapper or what, but he accumulates a lot of stuff and it moves back and forth. Stuff is built up over a period of time, but as I said, there's been a great amount of progress in cleaning it up. Inspection was on the September 4th, and pictures reflect my last visit.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Carlos, the maintenance man who lives there, yes, he's a pack rat. The property today looks considerably improved to those photos we just saw. I would like for Mr. Garcia to come again and take a look at it after one trailer has been emptied. I think that's all that's left, is one trailer of trash. I have emailed improved photos to Mr. Garcia, so when his schedule allows, I would like to meet him there to see the improvements. I would like to request a 90-day extension, please.
You're requesting how long?
What's an outlaw?
I still didn't hear you.
I request an additional 90 days to resolve all the issues.
Okay, so you're asking for 90 days. Mr. Garcia, how do you feel about that?
Well, sir, it's a very large piece of property. The accumulations appear on two different areas of the property. And due to the fact that stuff is accumulated over time, there's a lot of things that are covered by bushes and weeds and things like that. And there's some difficulty in accessing some of the items. So I don't have any objections to the time frame requested.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and rule in this case. I rule in the case of CE 2000-0165 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property in violation of Hillsborough County Code and Ordinance as listed in staff presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator and violator's history, I grant 90 days to come in compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that time, a fine of $200 per day will be assessed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case.
Next case is on page 7, item 14, case number CE 2000232, Ted Barnett, and we have service.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Ted Barrett, 1518 Clement Road, LUTZ, Lot 27, 33549.
Do you recognize that photo as the property?
Yes,
Thank you.
Garcia, Hillsborough
Okay,
County Code
Mr.
Enforcement.
Garcia?
The property is a mobile home located in a mobile home park at 1518 Clement Road. The property is lot 27. It's zone PD. The violator, Mr. Barrett, to my right, the property is not in foreclosure. My first inspection was on January 8th, 2020. There was a large amount of accumulations and several inoperable vehicles. My follow-up inspection, there were accumulations and inoperable vehicles remaining on the site. One of the inoperable vehicles had an issue with transfer of ownership, so that's the reason given for it being inoperable. My inspection was on September 3rd, and photographs were taken.
All right, Mr. Bennett, what's your response?
Well, I haven't finished. First of all, I'm a scrapper, and so when folks call me, I'm able, I'll pick up the items, and I'm building an enclosure to put the items. I'm in the process of doing that, finishing up, and also to a enclosure where I can do the work. I've had illness from operations off and on, so I've gotten behind with it. But hopefully I can complete it within about 30 days. The vehicle that I had went to get licensed for it, and I sold it. And he found out that he couldn't get a license for it because the insurance company had, I don't know, but the vehicle they claim is dead, but it's operable. So that's why I hadn't moved it. But anyway, I sold it, and the person has to come and remove it. He hasn't done it yet, but hopefully within 30 days. Also, the enclosure should be finished within 30 days, and I should have it cleaned up within that time.
So you're saying in 30 days you should have it all cleaned up, you'll have the inoperable vehicle out of there and accumulations all taken care of? Is that what you're saying, sir?
Sir, your last name, I have Barnett here.
No, it's Barrett,
That's B-A.
B-A-R-R-E-T-T-E.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. Garcia, I mentioned 30 days. Are you happy with the 30 days?
Yes, sir. However, I might remind Mr. Barrett that the inoperable vehicles also includes the pop-up trailer without a tag on the property. As far as the time frame, I don't object to that.
Okay. Ted, did you understand that?
Sir,
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rule in this case. I rule in the case of CE 2000-0232 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property in violation of Hillsborough County Code and Ordinance as listed in staff presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the act taken by the violator's history, I grant 45 days to come in compliance. Compliance is not achieved by the time, a fine of $200 per day will be assessed. Do you understand? Sir, do you understand that?
yes, I do.
Okay, thank you very much. Next case.
Next case is page 7, item 15, case number CE 200000410, Neighborhood Pest Control Lawn and Shrub Care Incorporated, and Verotech Pest Control Services Incorporated, and we have service.
Morning, sir.
And who will be testifying? Will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please, each of you state your name and address for the record.
Craig Turek, 16210 North Florida Avenue, LUTZ 33549.
And how do you spell your last name?
Kurrack.
And what's the relationship to
Ma'am?
this firm?
Judy Lanson, 16210 North Florida Avenue, Leeds, Florida 335.
Can you get closer to the mic, please?
Judy Lanson, 16210 North Florida Avenue in Lutz, 33549.
And is that L-A-N-S-I-N-G?
Lanson.
O-N. Lanson. And sir?
My name is Daniel Drake. I'm an attorney for the couple. The address is 403 North Howard Avenue in Tampa, 33606.
Okay, thank you. Is that photo as the property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can I ask a question? And that is to the couple, are they the principals of this company?
Yes, they are.
I am, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Rick Garcia, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. The property at 16210 North Florida Avenue, known as Envirotech, it's Zone CG. It faces Florida Avenue, and there's a property on Griffin Road directly behind it that's zoned residential. The property is not a foreclosure. I first inspected it on January 13th. Originally identified it as having accessory structure setback violation and buffer screening required. The structure you see in the photos, carport slash parking garage, was constructed directly along the property line that's shared with the residents behind it. The site plan originally called for a buffer zone. A buffer is required between commercial property and residential. There was previously a buffer zone there that included trees. The property owner requested a permit to remove the trees, which was granted. They then constructed the accessory structure parking area, and which is in violation of that 20-foot buffer screening requirement.
Okay. The people that have the complaint, it's your turn.
Sir, Dan Drake, on behalf of the respondents in this case, I have a photograph I would just like to have displayed, and I wanted to, if you can see the arrow, the structure that they're being referred to it runs right there. It's the white one. So it does run along the fence line of the house next door. So we do have residential, we do have commercial. Now the house next door was zoned commercial and used commercially at one time, but it has since been rezoned back to residential. And yes, there doesn't have, my understanding is the county would request I think it's a 20-foot buffer between the two properties. This is just being used for parking. As you can see on the other, to the north of it, or actually I believe the south, where they park their trucks underneath the other carport. So they're using that basically the same way. It's just for some protection. The reason I brought this photo is I wanted you to note the trees and the what you might call separation that is already there and kind of disguises and hides the business from next door. Now, being next door, I don't know if it sufficiently covers and makes it a complete buffer to something visual, but this is not an in-and-out company. They did apply. Apparently, they did not know a permit was required, and the company that put it up for them didn't bother to tell them a permit was required. And of course, they applied for an after-the-fact permit, and they ended up in development services, who basically said, this is a zoning issue. You're in the wrong office. So at this time, they're going to be applying for a permit to be able to utilize, to bring that buffer down. Now, we realize the county may not bring the buffer all the way down to a fence line, although I will tell you there is a water drainage there, but we are going to be seeking a variance in the setback so we can try to maintain that structure there, which I'm going to assume is probably going to be asked to increase the density of the blockage between the two buildings. But we're in the seeking of a permit process right now.
Okay. Mr. Garcia, how do you respond to that?
As far as the trees that were pictured in the aerial photo, it's sort of misleading because there's a canopy there. It's I'm not sure if it was presented that way as to be a substitute buffer, but the onus is on the commercial property to create the buffer, not the residents. And either way you look at it, the actual structure is still right on the property line and doesn't meet any kind of setback. The property displayed in the aerial photo to the north, there's not an issue there because that property to the north is also zone commercial, which does not require that 20-foot buffer screening. So I have no objection to them applying for the process, to get a variance or changes in how the property is viewed. It's just a matter of they have to apply for it, and if it's approved, it's all well and good. If it's not, then of course they will be in violation still.
Okay.
And I agree, it is our responsibility to make sure that the proper buffer of all these trees are on the neighbor's side. That I know that's not his job to make his trees thicker to hide it. So we do understand that it's our job to make a proper buffer, which may include moving that structure forward. But that's, with permitting, but we do understand that.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get ahead and I'm going to grant a continuance of 90 days and demand that you come back and give a status update.
Scheduled for 90 days already?
We do not, but you will receive notification once that's scheduled.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Next case.
I think that concludes everyone that was in the, that appeared. The rest of the cases, no one appeared.
There's nobody in the virtual?
Mr. Priscilla, do you want to make your statement?
Oh, certainly. I don't have that particular language, but we're going to continue since there's nobody in the audience, and then we will continue the cases, and everything's based on the gravity of the violation, action taken by the violator and violator's history.
Roger, I'm sorry to interrupt. Roger. Hey,
Yes, sir.
we can't hear your phone. It's being garbled right now.
Huh,
Are you calling on a cell phone or is it a landline?
it's a cell phone. I don't have a landline.
Okay, we're probably going to need you to call back in.
Okay, I can hang up and do that.
Okay.
All right.
Roger, are you back on?
Yes, sir, I am. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. You're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you. I gotta get the pictures back here. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Should I do this again?
Sir.
Okay, we have no one in the audience, or by virtue, we are going to continue the cases based on the evidence of the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator, the violator's history. We're to review the cases and move forward.
Next case is on page 1 of your agenda, item 1, case number CE 200-13300, Monica Simonchov. And we have service and no one is present.
Cabling, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case was initiated on 8/31/2020. This is one of 6 total complaints since 2016 on the respondent and on the property. The violations are overgrowth, where the growth was approximately between 12 inches and 5 feet in height, and nuisance conditions due to the extreme overgrowth. There was quite a bit of rodents and snakes on the property. I served the adult brother at the property at the time of the offense on 8/31/2020. And that's pretty much the long and short of it.
Hey, do we have pictures of that?
They're working on the pictures right now.
Oh, okay. I wonder why my volume or the phone became unaudible. I mean, not noticeable or gargled. Okay. Ladies, eventually we're going to do this in person, and I'm going to bring my candy, and you'll probably have to triple up on the candy delivery, huh?
You should see the pictures up now, sir.
Okay. Well, they're not coming through very clear. Is there any reason why they're so small on my screen, or what am I doing to, how can I increase the size of the pictures?
Roger, do you have the HTV program pinned?
Oh, you just had it. Yes, I do. There we go. All right, now if you can try the pictures again.
Sir, are you able to see those photos in full now?
No.
So at the top right corner of WebEx, you have the two small white circles. The small white circle on the left.
No, I've got it on the right, the 4 circles.
Okay, so yeah, that's you're in the grid view right now. You need to go into the active speaker video view. So on those two small white circles in the top right corner, when you hover over the left circle, you'll see it expands out. Go ahead and select the active speaker video view. Once you select that, you'll want to pin HTV program like you did earlier.
I'm looking for the 2 circles that you're referring to right now.
The two small white circles in the top right corner.
Top right corner. Top right corner, I've got an X and then a little screen, and then a minor, they're small.
Just to the left of that X. If you go to the left of that X, there should be 2 small white circles there. It's how you switched from the grid view earlier.
Yeah, I'm looking for the 2 white circles and I can't find them. My picture's coming in loud and clear.
So what are you seeing right now on the screen, sir?
I see me speaking, and I've got a full picture of it, but then I see the HTV program and the small, where the pictures are extremely small.
So yeah, you're still in the grid view. You need to activate the speaker view. Let's see.
Okay, now I got circles on the bottom. Share content. Let's see, participants, more options. Share my video, start my video, and then phone connection. Okay, what do we got up here?
No, to change your view is going to be in the top right corner. There's the 2 small white circles. That's how you change your view.
Well, sir, I don't have those 2 white circles. I'm looking for them right now.
Did you have them earlier?
I don't believe so. I don't recall.
But you were seeing the photos in full earlier?
Yes.
Right.
Let me view if I.
The only thing I can think is, are you using Internet Explorer instead of Google Chrome? Did you change the browser at all from whenever you disconnected
Right now,
back in?
right now it says Cisco WebEx. Let's see, meeting, welcome, audio, view. I'm going over to the top where it says Cisco WebEx meeting, and it says view. And then it does say a full screen. Wonder if I click that on, huh? Well, let's go with the small pictures. I'll deal with that.
Okay.
Just go through them again. I'll just put on my thicker glasses ahead. Okay. Okay. Mr. Bowling, what's a nuisance condition? I can see the overgrowth.
Like me repeat the condition, sir?
Yeah, what is the nuisance conditions? I see the overgrowth in the picture.
As I was walking the property, actually, I was looking for a point of entry in order to make contact with anybody maybe inside. The front door was jungle-like conditions, so I went to the back, and as I did throughout the property, I heard the rustling of rodents and/or snakes throughout. I actually thought twice about going up and trying to make contact because of that. The conditions of the property, overgrowth is such that it's easily a breeding ground for rodents, snakes. Also, there's a lot of mosquitoes around that property, immediately around that property, due to the high grass.
Okay. What do you recommend?
Well, sir, again, there have been 6 total complaints against this respondent since she has owned the property. 1 in 2016, 2 in 2018, 1 in 2019, and 2 in 2020, including this. They've been complied, except for this one, has been complied before going to hearing. I would recommend maybe a little bit higher incentive for the respondent to take care of this property. And I probably, even if they do comply, I'm probably going to come back with a remaining compliance request at a later date.
Okay, is it close to other properties or rental, or not rentals, but just other
Owned
properties?
and lived in by the respondent and the respondent's brother.
Yeah, I know, but how close is another house or whatnot?
It's directly across the street. Some very nice properties to the left and to the right of it. It's an agricultural area, but it's really residential. There's primarily very nice houses that dominate this immediate area. And actually, the neighbors thought the house was abandoned with this complaint, and because of the dilapidated condition. So it does not only affect the health and welfare of the neighbors, it also affects the property value of the neighborhood.
Okay, and you said that there were 6 complaints before, so if I go ahead and give a 14-day, well, all right, I'm going to go ahead and rule in this case. I'm going to rule in the case of CE 2001-3300 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property in violation of Hillsborough County Code and Ordinance as listed in staff presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the action taken by the violator in violation of the grant 7 days to come in compliance. If compliance is not achieved by that time, a fine of $250 a day will be assessed. Mr. Bowling, do you feel that's fair?
Thank you.
Okay, I guess he does.
All right. Item 2, case number 2052-92. This case was pulled per staff as of September 3rd. Item 4, CE 2000-8167. This case complied as of September 9th. 5, case number C 200. 10-802. This case complied as of 9/10. Page 3, item 6, case number CE 200-11-434, Amy J. McSevna, and we have service, and no one is present.
Good morning, Eric.
Good morning. Eric Tyne with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. Property in question is 144 Barrington Drive in Brandon, Florida. This property is owned by Amy J. McSevna. This property was first inspected on July 29th, 2020 due to a complaint of an unsanitary pool. I was able to view the rear of the property from the public right-of-way along Moore Road. And from there, I could see that the rear yard was severely overgrown. The pool was unsanitary, the water was black, the bottom couldn't be seen, and there was a noxious odor coming from the pool that could be smelled out along the side of the road. I could also see that a section of wooden privacy fencing had fallen down. I did try to make contact at the front door. There was no answer. Requested a notice of violation for the owner at that time. Re-inspected the property on August 4th of 2020. Was found to be in the same condition. Case was referred for hearing. And the property was last inspected on September 1st of 2020. There had been no change to the property at all. I have been able to make contact with the owner. I spoke with her first on August 10th. She told me she was trying to make arrangements to get the backyard cleaned up, cut down so that the pool and fence could be accessed. Spoke with her as recently as yesterday where she told me the same. She said she should have someone out next week to cut the overgrowth down so they can access the pool and the fence. She also told me she wasn't going to be able to make the hearing because she had to work.
Well, that's
all I have.
Okay. That is a residential area, right? Correct?
Each of my inspections, I was approached by neighbors asking about the condition of the property.
Okay. I'm prepared to rule in this case. I rule in the case of CE 2001144 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property in violation of Hillsborough County Code and Ordinance as listed in staff presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the act taken by the violators history, I grant 3 days to come in compliance. Compliance not achieved by that time. A fine of $500 per day will be assessed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Magistrate.
Page 5 of your
Next
agenda,
case.
item 10, case number CE 19019964. This case was pulled for staff as of September 10th. Item 11, case number CE 2000-1333, Rafit M. Hassan. We have service and no one is present.
The hippo fall asleep.
Officer Ippolito Padilla, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This case came into us via complaint. Came in on January 29th. The initial violations were accumulations, in-ops, and decorative features, along with protective treatment. Those other violations have been cleared except for protective treatment. In that photo, what you're looking at is in the rear of the property. Stucco paint, all that stuff is falling off. It's been quite a while, and when I talked to the owner, he's alleging that there's an insurance issue that they're waiting on. Up until 8/27, when I served him a one-day combo, that's when he sort of was more interested in getting stuff fixed and whatever. But as of the 28th, it still remains the same, and that's the only violation.
How much time would you allow, Hippo?
Be honest, no more than maybe another 30 days, because it's been 9 months just about already.
I agree. Okay. I rule in a case of CE 2001333 that based on the evidence presented, I find a property in violation of Hillsborough County Code and Ordinance as listed in staff presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the act taken by the violator violator's history, I grant 30 days to come in compliance. Compliance not achieved by the time a fine of $250 per day will be assessed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 6, item 12, case number CE 2000-3630. This case was pulled for staff on September 8th. Page 8, item 16, case number 2015-73. This case was pulled for staff August 31st, 2020. Item 1 of your addendum, case number CE 200-120-96, Paradise Village Mobile Home LLC. We have service and no one is present.
Morning, Paul.
He said good morning.
Good morning, Paul Ruin with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This is an emergency hearing for a depression behind a house located at 9717 Linda Place. The case began on August 10th of this month. The house and address is located inside the mobile home park at Paradise Village. This particular property owner has had 49 previous cases in the last 5 years, 4 of which have ended up in the CEB. The house in this particular question, at this particular location is also owned by the occupant. Some are rented. This particular one is owned. When I started this case, there was no changes in the way the case sat up until about this last Tuesday. They've actually started construction. If you could go back to the first slide for me. What I've laid out here is that, because I've been to this property, yes, this one. What I've laid out here is an aerial photo of where this house is located on the property. There's a drainage ditch on the northern end that is actually on another street that connects with a very old drain pipe that goes all the way to the retention pond. And what this has done is it has collapsed in places over time. I got an original complaint from a couple of years ago that they ended up fixing pretty quickly, but this one's, they seem to be dragging their feet on for some reason. I'm being told by the property manager that they are trying to get it fixed as soon as possible. He was supposed to be on today virtually to talk. I think he was having difficulty getting on. Because of these guys' history, I just, short time frame, high fine, and a remaining compliance order, I think, are necessary. Too much risk of damage to the actual house with all the rains we've been having. I feel it could possibly wash out and actually damage the home, which is owned by the person that lives there.
So, well, we can't now, I can't, well, we have to issue an order, and then if the order's not been, we can do a remand later on if they're not working it out. So, all right, I rule in the case of CE 200120096 that based on the evidence presented, I find a property in violation of Hillsborough County Code and Ordinance as listed in staff presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the acts taken by the violator, I grant 15 days to come in compliance. If compliance is not achieved by the time, a fine of $300 per day will be assessed. Thank you.
Just to clarify, that was 15 days?
Yes, ma'am.
At how much?
$300.
2 or 3?
3.
Okay. got
300?
it. And that concludes our agenda.
Well,
That
very
concludes
nice
our
to
agenda.
see you all again. Nice to see you all. See you next time.
Hey, Roger.
Yeah.